Now we move on to, again, this subject of safety, public safety, and of course this one is focused more on the Bekkersdal issue, where 10 people were mauled down through these mass shootings. This follows 3 weeks from the one that happened in Greater Swan. And I think it's important that as we think about these things, we speak to experts in the field. Mike, before you came on, I was talking about you, how we actually know you very well. I don't need to even tell the listener who you are.
Thanks.
We always see you on TV, we heard you on radio talking about this. Good morning. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Selo. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Tell me first, Selo. Selo, tell me first. Are you getting married? Listen, we have a saying in Afrikaans. Trou is nie perde koop nie. It means you must not, all your listeners, you that have listened to you, you know, marriage is the thing you must investigate because it's the second biggest decision in your life that God has given you. The first is to choose Him. Secondly is who you're going to share your life with. Because once you're married, you are one in Christ. I just want to mention that to you. So ladies, gents, you must make a thorough, in-depth investigation before you attach yourself to another person. That's just a bit of advice from our side because the most cases we receive is relationships going bad. But let me help you with the shootings. Do you have some questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much for that tip on getting married. I can see, you should see Fletcher. She's nodding all the way.
We can have a chat. We can have a chat at a stage. I will gladly unpack it for you properly.
Fantastic. We'll call you back for this specific subject matter.
Thanks.
So before we get into this one of with the Bekkersdal shooting, I'm assuming that you are not involved with the police investigation itself, but based on your experience in violent crime analysis, what stands out to you about the incident in Bekkersdal?
All right. Number one, us as specialist investigators are many a times called to assist, especially with cybercrime, help with track and tracing and forensic investigations. So when there's serious incidences in South Africa, you have seen it now, as you yourself have said, we are very well known. Many a times the police would reach out to us and we will work with them together, or we will reach out to them if we know something and assist. But this incident now and the previous one must not be seen that this is now going to be the norm and it's now a trend. It's not there yet, but it can become that if these two aren't sorted. If a crime is not dealt with severely and in-depth investigations must be done, and then severe punishments, and it must be properly, obviously exposed, because it's very exposed of what has happened, but it must also be very exposed if there's success and this has been dealt with. And then you bring crime prevention in place. But my concern here is with these incidences is that it can become the next way of, because we have seen that a lot of people and an extreme increase in serious violent crimes in South Africa in the last couple of months with more than 10%. And it's the year of the gun. So, 10 years ago when there's disputes, a couple of guys will go into a nightclub and they will beat each other up. Whether it's territorial, whether it's about drugs, whether about something that has happened there, or a friend got beaten, or a woman got raped, whether it's vigilante, whether it's zamazamas, whatever. They would come in and it would be a huge fight. But now in the last years, we see that they sort out matters with guns. Drive-by shootings. This is a huge concern to me because the mindset has changed. Years and years ago, a person would think to sort out things in a direct confrontation and in an intimidative way. But nowadays, the first thing that springs to mind is, let's get the AK-47s, let's get the guns, and let's jump in and shoot. And this is what I think is a concern.
Yeah, thank you for the reassurance that this is not going to be a trend.
No.
But we face the danger if it's not sorted. Why are taverns and late-night social spaces often vulnerable to these kinds of attacks?
Well, as I've said, something could have gone wrong there. There could have been money owed. There could have been outside criminal zamazamas and there's no definite answer now because there were no specific people targeted. But they were robbed. It could be a robbery. It could be just a plain fact, as I've said, guys watching too much movies and see what has happened before. And it's just violent criminals. But I think there is a motive. I think there's more to it. It could be a territorial dispute. It could be about drugs and prostitution and that's why I want to say at this point, taverns, all these shebeens must be closed. I'm sorry, guys, for those who are listening, it's to your own advantage. Give me one good reason to keep a shebeen open. How can that be good? Let me tell you the shocking thing. We must get all our people, which includes black people, clever. If you get your pay, don't go and drink it out. Stay away from the tavern. If you get your pay, go to your wife, buy the necessary stuff for you and your kids. And if there's anything left, maybe you and your wife can have a glass of wine at a proper place that is licensed and that guys with AK-47s won't pop in there. Taverns is and has always been a place of prostitution, drugs, illegal drugs and whatever, liquor outlets, etc., etc. And many a times they lure even the cops in. And they give the cops whatever they want, and then they just oversee any and everything. There's a lot of corruption. There's nothing good happening in a shebeen. People don't get there to build relationships. They go there for all and ulterior reasons, either to pick up women or, as I've said, drugs, or just drink themselves to a stupor, and then the pay is gone. It just makes our people worse. And as I've said, when I say our people, I mean it's me and you. It's any person of color. To me, I'm colorblind. Humans are all one in the eyes of God, and we must help all and get them wise. Close the taverns. We must ban taverns in South Africa.
It would be amazing if we could host the liquor board, understand the criteria for kind of registering these outlets.
Yeah.
But in these instances, most of them are illegal taverns, as you say, and I think it's just law enforcement in this case. And it takes me to my next question about the availability. What looks like easy access to guns. Looks like our system is flooded with guns, as if we are a country that just came out of war. Maybe we did come out of war with the anti-apartheid struggle. But what do you say to people about this the easy access to illegal guns?
The easy access to guns is to legal guns owned by me and you, and they rob your house and they rob you of your guns. All these guns in all the shootings, it's very seldom that a criminal will use his licensed gun that's on his name, because he knows at least that there's some form of forensic that can link the gun to him. But there are, let's say 99% of all serious violent gun crimes that are committed by stolen guns, illegal guns stolen from gun shops, from army depots, caches. There is so many. And that's why at this point, I must say, we must be very careful, the government, and this is a message to the government and the police, that we should not unarm those who can still make a difference. But those who are armed must make sure that they stick to all the rules and regulations and use the weapons correctly and understand the protocol and understand the gun law like they understand the palm of their hand, because that's the problem. Many people are robbed of their guns because they don't follow the protocol. So that's why I understand to totally, look, if I was the president, I have no problem to take all guns out of South Africa, but that means from the criminals as well. So you must first disarm the criminals. And this is a concern. You are very right. And we are going to get some further serious violent crimes in our country. But hopefully with the hearings going on, with all this absolute mayhem in our country of corruption from government level to the man on the street, hopefully And I pray for that this will bring a turnabout around, because at the end of the day, we are all going to suffer, and we are all being hijacked by the criminals in this country. We are not safe. We're living in fear and paranoia. You will not get a man on the street. You will not get one listener calling you. Let's check that out. If any listener will send you a WhatsApp or a SMS or a voice note and say, you know what, Selo, it is lovely. I live in no fear. Nothing goes wrong. I'm cool, calm, and collected. I don't worry in the morning. I have absolutely no concern. I've got the go-to guys in the police. I trust the government. It's just lovely and sunny, and there's nothing wrong. You won't get that.
Thank you. One of the things that we struggle with is the lack of what I'd call sanctuary, places which are safe. Not just about taverns that they should be shut down, but actually, even events are vulnerable to attack. But I'm also looking at churches. You remember last year we lost at least a couple of priests. And they were preaching, and then these guys walk in and they take cell phones. When one priest was cooperating, they still shot him dead.
Yep.
So, what is from your experience, what would be your tips for event organizers, church, for them to prevent these kind of attacks from happening?
All right, so number one, if you look at all events, you will do a risk analysis on all. So obviously, the highest risk for crimes that are being committed in an event and could be committed against that event is shebeens. That's the highest by far. It's 90%. So a normal event like a wedding or a church a service, or where there's going to be a possibility of people that have something that's valuable, or money, or a golf day, or any kind of gala, they must have proper security nowadays. You cannot have any event without proper security, and you'll always have to do a pre-investigation and to do a proper identification, evaluation, and risk analysis. You have to do that. You cannot nowadays just actually, as a matter of fact, you are correct about the churches and all of that. When there's any form of value that can be identified by the criminals, and you as the one that's arranging the event can evaluate that there is value to this event, you should, according to that value, step up your security. Proper CCTV footage, proper security guards, and you have to be careful with security guards because they can be the very people involved with the criminals and sell the information. So it's a dire situation, it's an extreme situation, but that's my tip and advice to any people that has any gathering or event, is to, according to the value, what could be taken, you have to think like the criminal. And then say, all right, we have valuables here, there's jewelry, or this is a gala, there's going to be money, or expensive stuff stolen, or presented. So accordingly, we have to do security.
I couldn't agree with you more, because the third thing is that then people spend a lot of money on security. But at the end of the day, it's about people being safe.
That's
for
it.
the last 30 seconds, Mike, as listeners prepare to step into 2026, so carrying both scars and lessons of 2025, what single message would you leave with them in the next 30 seconds? What's that key message that you want to leave with the listeners?
Our country is totally, all of us, all our listeners, we are flat on the ground because of crime. And we must do things physically, and we must try our best, each individual, to not have a mind of criminal intent. And we must try and fight with all our power, physically now, and emotionally and verbally, to combat crime. However, it's now stage that we clearly realize that we need God, and we must ask God to enter our lives and assist us. Otherwise, I'm unfortunate saying that we are entering a year which might be worse than this year, which you know by now, I say what I mean and I mean what I say and I don't lie. But how things are going, we have to do all three things correctly, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And we must stand up against crime, all of us.
Mike, you are always available to us. Thank you so much for making yourself again available. May you and your family be safe during this festive season. That was Independent Crime and Security Analyst.